World Arts Academy provides professional development for emerging, practicing, and master dance artists, teachers, administrators, and scholars through advocacy and professional development opportunities that advance dance as a performing art in educational sectors and communities throughout the world. Our faculty teaches diverse dance genres in a variety of environments including, but not limited to, K through 12 schools, dance studios, colleges, and community centers. World Arts Academy envisions dance reimagined, reflective of our differences and supportive of all who dance and teach dance. A world where dance education is equitable, accessible, valued, and preserved. Please visit our website at worldartsacademy.com to see our impressive faculty, view our workshop calendar, enjoy distance learning, or help our mission by becoming a patron.
The Danceology podcast interviews the great masters of dance, the working professionals starring in today's most exciting shows, and the rising stars ready to amp up the craft. I'm your host, Edyta Sliwinska from Dancing with the Stars. Join me as I dive into the world of dance, uncovering unique stories and the fascinating personalities of industry professionals on Danceology. Welcome to the second season of the Danceology podcast. As some of you might know, I had to take a short break from my podcast because of health issues. I underwent serious surgery a few months ago and I'm recovering, I'm doing well, and I should be okay. I might talk about it later in the season, but for now, I would like to focus on my amazing guests. My first guest this season is one and only Kym Johnson, who is my dear friend and a colleague from Dancing with the Stars. She is also a very beautiful and kind human being. Kym says that sometimes she has to pinch herself, and no wonder. It seems like she lives a dream life. She not only had her dream job on Dancing with the Stars, but then she met the love of her life on the show. Who happens to be my favorite shark from a show called Shark Tank. His name is Robert Herjavec. They have two beautiful children together, and it's like they lived happily ever after. So how did Kym get there? Was it deliberate effort, or was she just a lucky gal? For one, I can tell you that Kym had to wait for quite a long time for her dream life. She met Robert in her very late 30s. I loved catching up with her. I loved the wisdom she shared with me. For example, she shared with me a very valuable advice that Jerry Springer gave her when they danced together on Dancing with the Stars, an advice that Kym says helped her in her career and would be beneficial to anyone who wants to succeed in anything. So tune in, you guys. I hope you like this season of Danceology. I'm always interested in people's journey, in their road to success, and what success really means to them. Our conversation with Kym was very inspiring to me, very uplifting, and I actually learned a thing or two as well. I am so incredibly happy to see you. I can't wait to catch up, and I'm just gonna dive right into it. So listen, you are an extremely accomplished dancer. You are married to the love of your life.
Yes.
He happens to be a very successful man too. You have two beautiful children. And I would say to many, this would be an equivalent to living a dream. Does that feel like to you? And what is your life like right now?
I mean, honestly, I have to pinch myself because I did get married late. I found Robert much later in life. I was in my late 30s. So I was sort of thinking maybe I'm not going to meet, my forever love and have kids. There was a point where I possibly thought that. I actually froze my eggs when I was 35. I'd broken up from a serious relationship and I was like, oh my gosh, and then I didn't want to have that pressure of just being with someone because the clock was ticking. So that was the reason why I decided to freeze my eggs. And it sort of I don't know, I felt a little bit more freedom then, just to be myself and not have the pressure of settling down. And then when the right person came along, they did. And so it wasn't always like living the dream. I was focused on my career, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, it was like later in life that I found Robert, and the frozen eggs that I did ended up not working. So I had to use my old eggs that worked. So for anyone out there who is sort of in that position and thinks it's too late, we ended up having kids later in life with my old eggs. As the doctor may, I think he may have even said, as everybody out there going through fertility would know, it's quite daunting when they start getting into the nitty gritty of that. But I am, yeah, living my dream now. I've married my best friend. It's just incredible how we met, and we have these two beautiful children. So yeah, I'm so blessed and so lucky.
How do one get to this point in life? Do you think it's a bit of luck? Are these decisions you made all along the way? Was it the patience that you had to wait for the right person? What do you think?
I
How
think,
do you get
I
to
mean,
this place?
I think I was like so focused on my career. When I got on Dancing with the Stars here in Australia, that was amazing. Then I ended up doing the American version with you. You'd been there for 2 seasons. I came in season 3, and we didn't really, I mean, I think season 3 is really when it blew up, right? With the ratings and
Around that time.
yeah, kind of thing. And we were part of something really special. And then back in those days, it was like we did a season, we went on tour, a season, like our year was booked, which was great for us. But before I thought I was going to America for 3 months for that one season. And then I did the fitness DVDs, and then the tour came along, then another season. And like my career just sort of took over, and like dating and stuff fell by the wayside. So I was loving my career. I always wanted to be a successful dancer, which we all know is very difficult to do. And yeah, it was like 10 years went by, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually need to think about my future, and not so much getting married, but the opportunity came up to go back and judge the Australian version. So I knew I wanted to pivot and get myself out of dancing and into something else. And that was a great sort of stepping stone into doing something else, which I really enjoyed, and sent me back to Australia. So I left. I remember going in to see the executive producer and having that conversation, because I knew when I told him I wanted to go back to Australia and not do the next season, there's someone else waiting in the wings. I knew that I could never be back on the show again, but I knew that that was the risk I was going to take, because I wanted to do this back in Australia. And yeah, it was very sad leaving the lot that day, because I knew I could possibly never be back again. But I loved judging the show in Australia, and it was great to be back home with my family. I actually started dating someone here, and I thought that's going to be good, more of a balance for me. I wanted to have a nice balance. And it was, I think, a couple of years after that, I used to come back and forth for the Dance with Stars cruises to LA and then back to Australia to judge, and back and forth. So I was doing the best of both. But then they called me and said, would you come back for the 10th anniversary special as one of the OGs? And I'd bought a house like 4 years before in LA.
I remember that house.
My little batch, it was pink. Remember?
Of course it was pink. Yeah, it was lovely.
Pink.
It was absolutely lovely. It was perfect.
Wasn't it a beautiful house? It was I was so proud that I'd actually, done it all by myself. I bought my own home. I was like this independent woman, loved my house. And yeah, I remember thinking, I'm going to move back to Australia. I'm going to sell it and leave, LA for good. And then they called me back for this 10th anniversary special. And I thought, it'll be my last hurrah. I never left thinking it was my last. Well, I thought it could be, but this is going to be nice to go out knowing it's my last one. So I went back and I get partnered with Robert. So you just never know. Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like, I was about to sell my house and like move LA.
You make
know.
plans. You make
You
plans
make
for
plans.
you,
Yep.
and then life
But I
throws
do
something at you.
remember, because I was older and I was like, oh my gosh, because I think all of the OGs had gone at that stage. And I think I was the only one. And I was with, the Whitneys and the Lindsays and Emma, all of the young ones, And I was, before I did the season, I went on tour, which I was very trepidatious about because I'm like, oh, I'm too old for this. And
We're gonna keep
someone,
up, yeah.
yeah, and someone gave me a Tony Robbins, like
Like
a
a DVD, like a
CD or something,
inspirational.
a disc. So I used to get in my bunk on the bus and listen to it. And I don't know if it's that changed my mindset of, because I would often be like, oh, like always thinking of what I didn't have instead of being grateful for the moment I was in and being present. And it really switched my way of thinking. And I was like, gosh, this is a gift to be given, to be back on tour. I'm like traveling the States again. I'm getting to perform every night. And I remember I sort of took on a different mindset, and I grabbed the young girls and I'd be like, come on, let's go explore, get them out of their bunk beds. And we'd wake up in the morning and go wherever in Tulsa or something. We'd just like wander around the city and like see things and find out what there was in that city. And I was in a really different mindset. And I don't know, that's how I ended up meeting Robert. And he himself, he was going through some changes in his life, and I think it was just the right timing for us. Even though we met later in life, it was just, we both were very happy with ourselves, I think, and it just worked. It was just so easy.
And when did you know it works? When did you know that Robert is the one? Was there a moment or
Well,
it kind
I
of
was
grew
trying to
on
keep
you?
very professional with it, in the beginning. You know what it's like, and you're just meeting this
Always.
person.
Mhm.
And then he, you're always there with a cameraman in the room. There's other people in the room with you. We went out to dinner with a group of other pros and celebrities on the show. So I remember doing that, but it was with a group. And I remember thinking, gosh, this guy's lovely. But he was going through a divorce. So I didn't want any part of it. I'm like, he had been with someone else. So I just didn't want to go there. So I kept it very professional. And I think it was like week 4 or so, or 5, he asked me to go for dinner. This was in rehearsals. He's like, do you want to go for dinner tonight? And I just said yes. And then I thought about it through rehearsals, and I was like, oh, I just can't cross that line. So at the end of rehearsals, I said, oh, about dinner, I'm so sorry, but I can't make it, and just left. And he'd had all these plans. Yeah. But he was respectful, but he was persistent. And we were doing the show, and I think we were enjoying spending time together, getting to know each other. And then a few weeks after that, he asked me to go to, his friends were renewing their vows, so he wanted to take me to that. And I was like, wow, like if he wants to take me to something like that, and I met his friends, I was like, gosh, like, so it was at this wedding, I was like, wow, like this guy's amazing. Like, and we just got along so great. But it was really after it finished that then we just started spending more time together. And I mean, doing dancing was just a way we met now, So yeah, it's.
So listen, you waited for such a long time, and I remember I remember we even talked about it. You kind of waited for that true love. You did not want to settle. You waited for that special person. But let's not lie about it. There is a certain pressure, particularly for women, I feel,
For
that at a
sure.
certain point in life, you're supposed to have a husband and kids, and you're supposed to be settled down and all that.
Yeah.
What would it worked out so well for you, but what would you say to a person that feels that pressure of time and cannot find that special person? What do you do? Just relax and trust the process?
I think you have to trust the timing of your life and realize that you're in the place you're meant to be at that time. And for me, it was being present and grateful for where I was at the time.
Maybe get a Tony Robbins DVD.
Yeah, honestly, and I was never into that kind of thing. Like, I was never into that kind of thing. I don't know if it was just listening to it that just sort of really made me realize just be grateful, be present for where you are. And it just changed my mindset. But yeah, I mean, I was in my late 30s and not married with kids. Like, it was for sure, like, I thought this may not happen, but I was lucky. My parents were never like pressuring me to settle down. That's probably normally where you get the pressure from family. When you see them, they're like, oh, is there anyone in your life? I didn't have that, which was great. And I think, your parents, they just want you to be happy. And some people are happy on their own. I was really happy. It was sort of annoying when people would just assume I wasn't happy. I was happy. I had my own home. And I still have a great group of friends. And I loved that. Like, my friends were like my family in LA, and I was really happy. And I would have rather to have just had that circle than be in a relationship I wasn't happy with.
To settle down, right?
Yeah.
And what is it that you're looking? Yeah, you had Lola. I remember Lola too. So listen, what is it that you're looking for in a relationship? What is it that makes a good relationship? Now that you've been with Robert for how many years was it?
We are married 8 years.
8 years.
Like 10 years together. But yeah, we're going, this next year will be our 9th year. Isn't that crazy?
It is. So it is. It's incredible. It's been 9 years of, building this relationship. What is it that you think makes a successful relationship?
It's having that mutual respect for each other. And for us, we are best friends. Like, he is my best friend, and me, he is. We talk about everything. I don't know if it's like how we met. Like, I was the one that was kind of the boss telling him what to do. I don't know, but it was like he had such respect for what I did as a choreographer, as a dancer, as a performer. And of course, I had so much respect for him. I thought he was just an amazing person. So we have such a respect for each other, and we like hanging out with each other. I think that's the most important thing, is that we enjoy each other's company. He's taken a bit of a step back from his company now. We're actually living in Australia. Well, we're basing ourselves here. We do travel back and forth to the States a lot, but we're here. And I mean, we both don't have to go and do school drop-offs, but we actually like being in the car and being a family unit. And Robert's got time now. So, we actually choose to do those things together because we like being together. And then once we drop the kids off, we'll go grab a coffee somewhere. We go for a walk. We work out together. So I think that's, if there is any advice I can give, it's try and marry your best friend.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly what I would say. We've been with Alex since we were
forever
in our 20s for a long time.
Yeah.
I was 20, he was 21. And when someone asks me, I say exactly the same thing. He is my best friend. He is literally my best friend. I don't have many close friends. I don't think it's possible to have many close friends. I know a lot of people. He is my best friend. He knows me the best. I know him the best. We spend a ton of time together between the kids and our work. We work together. And it really makes a difference, because at the end of the day, this is the person that you can rely on, is the person that's gonna get you, that's gonna understand what you're going through. And life is hard. Life can be hard, and you want to have that person on your side.
That's the thing. Life can be terrible and throw horrible things at you, and just to have that person, it's great. And before, it's different, with Robert. Like, he's my everything, but I do have a great circle of friends. And when I was single, I mean, I'm very strong and independent, and I enjoyed it. But having Robert, it's just, I feel, as cliche as it sounds, like really complete. And I love our little family. It's small, but there's a lot of love in our little tiny family.
It's quite perfect. It's quite perfect. So let's talk a little bit about your family. what, how, how has your life changed since you became a mom? And what kind of mom are you? Are you
Oh my
strict?
God.
Are you spoiling your kids? Are you,
Um,
tell, tell me
Becoming a
about it.
mum, you know what? It's like I was older when I became a mum, and it's all I ever wanted. Like, I wanted to be a mum. I was a mum to my little puppy Lola. Like, I loved it. Like, she was my baby. And then had the twins. I mean, it's a shock to the system. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you come home and you
Particularly,
just,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the viewers know, but I'm just going to reiterate that you had twins
I know.
at
Well, I didn't know any
you.
different because
How old were
I
you? You
went
were
through so.
40,
I was 40.
40.
Yeah, I was
That's
40
hard
then.
on your body and obviously an
I
incredible
know.
adjustment to your
And I'd
lifestyle.
always just, for a long time, it was like my career, like, all of that. And then all of a sudden, you like expected to be this mum that knows what to do, and you don't. And I remember coming home. Actually, this is really funny. Robert was great in the hospital. He was sleeping there, amazing, on the horrible, that horrible pull-out bed. We get the kids home. My mum was with me. So I think he thought I was fine because I had help with my mum. But my mum she's 83 now. So she was an older mum.
And you forget. You forget.
Yeah, you forget. We get home and we walk through the door. We do the whole like filming, walking through the door for the first time, meet Lola. And Robert says, "Oh, you guys okay? I'm going to go for a massage." And I was like, I was just
Typical
like,
guy.
what? he, he left. And I was just like, and they were asleep at that time. And I was like, okay, all right. And I had like the nursery set up and everything. But then they started crying and I was like, oh my, and like reality kicks in and you're just like, oh my God.
What do
So
I do?
but you do it. You just, something kicks in and you do it. Mum's like, just try and have a good sense of humor with this whole being a new mum thing. And it was like the best advice because, just stuff happens.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I was in this bubble and it was amazing. Like I loved it and hard work. The first 3 months is a bit of a blur. But you get through it and there's these, like now I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like the best time ever, just with these new little babies. And yeah, it was amazing. I loved it, I have to say. I love being pregnant. I'm one of those annoying people. Actually, once I got past the first initial stages, I loved it. Like I had my dance fitness studio at the time in Beverly Hills. So I was still teaching classes and managing a business right up until I went in. And I think that kept me in shape as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. And I had, my mum helping me out and Robert is so hands-on. He was great. I mean, but, it's challenging. No one tells you how difficult nursing is. Like breastfeeding is so hard. That was the hardest thing for me, I have to say.
Particularly
Like,
with two, it
oh
must
my
be
God.
incredibly hard with two kids. It's hard
If
enough
I
with
wasn't
one.
mum, I had that football, that
Mhm.
pillow, and I was trying to do them both at once, and I had like holding them like this. It was hysterical.
Kym,
It
the
was
super
so
mom.
fun. It was so funny. But you get through it, and then before you know it, they're one, and you're like, how did that even happen? I remember I was trying to be all like very, when they started solids, I was really making everything like zucchini fritters and this and that, like everything. And then for their birthday, I made like just a cake stacked with like healthy banana pancakes with like a yogurt frosting. So I was like, no, like, just being very healthy. I think for their second birthday, I just bought like a cake from the shop. I was just like, they can have sugar, whatever. But you pick and
You
choose
settle down.
you settle down, you like everything in moderation. And I try and be strict and we try and have a plan. Actually, just now they're in school and they're older, it's like structure definitely works for us. And we've just recently, actually last night, we started this chart and they have to write them down, help me write all the things they have to do in the morning, and we've got boxes next to it and they have to tick it off if they do it all. And then they're getting stars, and at the end of the week, if they get enough stars, they can get a little something. So
Nice.
I feel like structure works well for us in our family.
I think it works for kids in
And
general
chores.
because
Yeah. trying to teach them. I grew up like that, and I think it's, I don't know, if you have like more self-worth, I think, I don't know. If
I
you
absolutely
feel like
agree. It's
made your bed, like the simple little things like making their bed in the morning and stuff like that, you know. So try and do that, but we try and have fun with them and do fun things. Robert's definitely way more fun than I am. He's just so fun. He's so enthusiastic about life in general, which is so great. He's so curious and excited. I'm a little bit more, I don't know, serious, strict and serious. Yeah, I try and, you know, we've got to do, they do Kumon in the morning. I'm trying to like get them to do all these things, and now it's just so busy because we've got soccer. Well, you know what it's like. After
it's a full-on schedule.
Weekends are full, and I absolutely love it. But I'm trying to like now find that balance of going back to work, because I miss working. I miss the person that I was before I became a mum, because you can so easily get into that trap of just, oh, I'm Hudson and Haven's mum, you know. And I would probably say up until now, you know, that's, and it will always be my focus, but that has been like my sole focus. But now I miss doing other things. I miss being creative. I miss working. So I've like dabbled in things. When I was living in Canada, we moved to Canada 3 years ago. And I started working with a production company actually up north, in more in development. And it's been, that was great. It was really good because I could go into the office just occasionally, and I was working from home doing Zoom calls, and they were not far from the city. So if there was a movie, I did a few little like cameos in some movies as well, and it was just so great to sort of get my foot back in working mode again. But I really enjoyed the whole development stages of it and figuring out, well, they took me under their wing really to show me the ropes of that world, which I loved. So I think it's always
of production.
Production, and grow and learn and do new things, because I still get to be creative, which that's what I loved about Dancing with the Stars. I loved the rehearsal process the most, of like picking a song, creating like a storyline. Yeah, I mean, I was always, my background was more in musical theatre, so I would try and put that into a lot of my dances. And then you get someone like my first partner, Jerry Springer, you know, he couldn't be doing like all the fanciest choreography in the world, but I thought I have to theme everything for him and make it a production. So I enjoyed doing that with him, and that worked for us, you know, making it a bit more theatrical. So yeah, being in production, and I'm still working with them now from Australia. We have like weekly Zoom calls and stuff, and it's great. I love it. And I think you do have to, being a dancer, especially in that profession, you either go into teaching choreography or something else creative like that. But it is really difficult. I think a lot of dancers may struggle if they haven't thought of what they want to do after. It can be really difficult. And I'm pretty sure that's the same for most athletes. When you're using your body like that, it is difficult to then go, whoa, what's next? You know? And then being a mum, getting back into the workforce, regardless of what field you're in, it's daunting because you've been out of it for so long. You're like, oh my gosh, you know, do I even know how to function in like a normal world, you know, without like children?
Yeah, I think this is very natural. I think what happens is that once your kids go to school and you get back a little bit of time and your freedom, you start thinking what's next. And I actually wanted to ask you about, you know, most people know you as a dancer, but as you mentioned, you did a couple of projects with acting as well. I know. Okay, I remember long time ago on a tour. Okay, so you record, first of all, not many people know that you are a singer, you are in musical theater, a singer and an actress. Okay, I remember the song you recorded. It was called something like Princess by Day.
Oh my God.
Okay, but it was quite good. You have a voice. You have a voice, and then
sweet. I don't. Well, I'm a performer, shall we say? So I'm a dancer that can sing, and lately I'm trying to now be, you know, I will never be a singer. Like, I'm not Celine Dion. I will never be, you know, Whitney Houston. But I'm a performer, and I love to sing. I always did, but that was always my in my head, you're not a singer. Like when you're younger, in my dance studio, I was like, oh, you're this type of dancer. You were sort of put in a box. Do you know what I mean? And musical theatre was my thing, but I was a dancer. So I just don't think I ever explored that. Like, I think I probably really wanted to. So now I'm doing that later in life. So I'm definitely singing more, and I'm putting together a one-woman show. Oh, I'm
I did see
working
that.
on like a one-woman show that I want to do in Palm Springs. But no, when I was younger, in my early 20s or even 18, I thought I wanted to be a pop star. Anyway, I wrote
Why
this.
not? Why not? And I actually do have a question about it, because you did have the song The Princess by Day. I don't know what was going on after that.
It was almost like my party trick, when we'd be on the bus. I'd be like, okay, I'll perform my song. So I used to sing my song for everyone.
And I loved it. And then you got into acting too. Okay, you just starred, like, what, a couple of years ago, a year ago, in a movie called Hunting Housewives. So
Yeah.
I know you. So you said you were very much into musical theater. Then why dancing? Then why did you stick to dancing?
Because I didn't start ballroom until I was 14. My brother actually started because there was a girl at school that did it that he liked. So he asked Mum if he could do it.
Of course,
so that's how I
the
started.
girls.
Yeah. But I was like into ballet, jazz, tap, acrobatic, singing in like this studio, and I was very heavily into it. And like musical theatre was going to be like, I thought I was going to move to London to be on the West End. Like that was my vision.
Okay.
And then I started ballroom at 14, maybe I was 13, I think 14. And there was a little boy there that needed a partner. Like when I went there, I was like, what is this? And I was like, well, I'm a real dancer kind of thing. I was like such a snob. And then I started just partnering this little boy. And then that was it. Like it just sort of took off. And then I started to do some competitions, and then from that, like then I started to do really well. Started representing Australia in the World Championships, in like the World Youth. I went to junior Blackpool. We did World Youth competitions. So then that sort of like, I was still kept up the other dancing, but the ballroom sort of took off. And then I ended up, really getting heavily into ballroom and letting the other go. But I remember I moved to London when I was 18, and because I was, that used to be the home of ballroom dancing. More so New York now, where it's sort of like everywhere, but you had to be in London to take lessons off everybody, and it was like easier to go to the competitions in Europe and stuff like that. So when I was in London, I would go into Pineapple, which is a dance studio in London, and take a jazz class or a musical theatre class or something. So I still sort of kept it up, but the ballroom definitely took over. And then Burn the Floor came about, which was that production show, and that was perfect for me because I got to sort of have my theatrical world mixed with ballroom. And then I joined Burn the Floor, and I stopped competing because I was sort of getting over the competitions anyway, and that life. So when I joined Burn the Floor, I felt very at home on stage. We were touring the world, and then Dancing with the Stars came about, and it was just like a perfect fit for me. Yeah, and all my friends in Australia that went on to do musical theatre and stuff like that, especially in Australia, it's very hard because we don't have a Broadway or a West End, so there's not as many shows going on. So they would be like going in a job, then off for a while, and Dancing with the Stars came about, and they're like, oh my gosh, like we can't believe you've now had this success as a dancer from ballroom dancing. We thought you were crazy doing ballroom and leaving that behind. So it's just worked out. But now I have come back to what my passion is, and that's more musical theatre. I've always loved cabarets. I would go to different cabaret shows with my mum here in Sydney, and then when I was in America, New York, they're everywhere. Palm Springs, there's a place called the Purple Room, and that's like, I love it. It's so great. You always see someone amazing, and it's about storytelling, and that's what I love about it. And sort of I'm creating my own one-woman show at the moment. We're figuring out names. Maybe you guys can help. my musical director and vocal director wants to call it What I Did for Love, which there's one song in there from Chorus Line, What I Did for Love, that's in there, and it's like very special to me. So we thought of calling it that. The Girl from Oz. I don't know. We've got to figure out what we're going to call it. But it's been one of these things where I've been talking about, and I've been working with my vocal director and musical director. But I think I'm enjoying the process of creating the show more than booking a date, because I'm so nervous to do it. Because I think when you're singing, you're so vulnerable. It's different, so different to dancing. So, and that's where I'm like, I've got to go back to what I was saying when I was listening to my Tony Robbins thing about being present and grateful and like in the moment. If I don't do it now, I am going to regret it, and I don't want to have those regrets. I'll never be as young as I am today. You know, I'll never be. So I should just do it, you know. And I feel like, those little doubts creep in my head, like, oh gosh, I'm too old for this. Like, I can't start doing something new at this age. But it's what I love, and I'm putting together this, you know, show, and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to book a date next year in Palm Springs and do it.
I think what you're doing is incredible, because I think this is what keeps us alive, doing the whatever projects are we passionate about. And of course you feel uncomfortable because it's a bit out of your comfort zone, but not really if you think about it. You did a movie. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of aspects of dancing is acting. It really is. It is a little bit different, which I wanted to ask you about. What does it take to, you know, in your opinion, to be a good dancer versus good actress? But in terms of pursuing these projects, you know, I've been listening recently to a memoir written by Al Pacino, and it's just fascinating.
Really?
Because it's absolutely fascinating, because I never knew that Al Pacino is such a true artist, and that most of the projects he did because he could see himself in a certain role that he could play. He never did it for money, and he never would take a role, even in a successful movie or movie to be a popular movie. He would never take a role that he couldn't connect to, unless just because it would prepare him to another level of stardom. He never cared about it.
Wow.
And, you know, now he's 82 years old and he still works and he still does projects. He spends money on producing movies and theater plays that have zero commercial value. He actually produced a couple of films that you've never heard of them because they're so uncommercial.
But
he says,
passionate to him.
And that keeps him going. He says that keeps him alive. And he said, you know,
it's so true.
And when someone asked him, you know, what do you, in an interview, they ask him, what would you want God to tell to ask you when when you finally arrive? And he goes, the best thing to hear from you would be, when do we start rehearsing? He just wants to keep working. He just wants to keep working because, so I absolutely.
You
he did.
that.
So
and it's like, I don't want to just always be stuck like in Dancing with the Stars. Like I knew that from when I was on the show, I wanted to like start pivoting and doing something else. But it is tricky to do because you can get in that bubble. And it is a bubble, don't you think, when you're in it?
You get the role, like, other people assign you the role, and very hard. It's very hard to adjust.
It's a great job, but you know, you're in a bubble and it's amazing. But you do have to think, oh, what's next, you know? And it's been great sort of challenging myself. You know, even with the production company I'm working with, I didn't know anything about production in that way. So having them show me the ropes, starting from nothing, budgets, trying to get a movie sold, from development to the whole thing, like it's been amazing. And we're developing a dance Christmas movie at the moment. Fingers crossed it gets sold, and a kids, a kids animated series. So it's so much fun, and that's what I I miss about Dance with Stars is like being creative and coming up with the choreography and the ideas and all of that. So this is a great outlet for me, working with this production company, and they're amazing. So yeah, so I've got that on the go and my little one-woman show. So
Yeah, if you do that, please let me know. I would love to come out and see it.
okay.
And listen, so speaking about Dancing with the Stars, you said that your favorite thing about it was the creative process and rehearsal. Was there
Yeah.
anything that you struggled with or disliked about the show?
Not really. Looking back, it was like some of the greatest times in my life. Like, you know, and the good old days. Like we had so much fun, Edyta. Like, wasn't it just
Yeah, no, it was
it was
incredible, of course.
even our tours, like back in the day, we had so much fun on the
I
tours.
wish I wish I appreciated more, like looking back.
Right?
I wish I
See?
saw that Tony Robbins video then.
That same with me. You like it's wasted on the young, like wisdom wasted on what's the saying? I don't even know. Anyway, but you don't like when you're young, you don't really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But looking back now, yeah, there's a saying, you'll never fully appreciate a moment until it's a memory. And I think that's so true. Like I look back and when I first came to America dancing with Jerry Springer, it was incredible. Like it was, I didn't, you know, you sort of just in it, so you're doing it. But it was such a great time and forming great friendships. We didn't get so close when we were actually competing on the show in that first season. It was the first tour because that's when we really we're living with each other. We're getting so close, and that was really special. And then I think that was just amazing for then future seasons after that because we were so close from being on tour together. I have negative thing. I loved the show. I loved it. I mean, it was challenging sometimes with some celebrities you'd get, just figuring out you had to teach them a different way. They'd learn a different way. But I loved it. It was the greatest, some of the greatest times in my life. And I ended up meeting my husband on the show. So
Of course, but the show has done
with.
such an amazing things for you. I think, you know, when I look back, I love performing. For me, the creative and the performance. What I didn't like is that certain things you did not have control over. And I think, you know, right now when you're creating your one-woman show, I think what's amazing about it is that you are in control and you are the decision maker and you can, you know, we didn't sometimes, first of all, you don't get control over who you dance with. That's first.
Right. Well, yeah, you definitely don't get to that. Yeah.
You don't get to pick that. You often don't get to pick your song. And that's huge. You know, so many times I danced to songs that I straight out did not connect with at all. I was just, oh my goodness.
And you have to just go, oh, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah. So here you are doing your show. You can, you pick your title, you pick your music, you pick your costumes. So I know I'm jumping a little bit.
It's more daunting because I think in Dancing with the Stars, I was never up front and like the star. My job was to make them shine and be the best. So it was never about me. So I think that's why doing this cabaret show, it's a little daunting because, well, it's just me, you know what I mean? And my musical director. So that feels, I've not been in that position because my job was to create something great for someone else. You know what I mean? So it's a different mindset switch. Yeah.
It's a risk. You're putting yourself out there, but I think the bigger risk you take, the bigger reward there is. And I think you're really going to feel amazing doing it.
And I just have to stop doubt. Like the older I get, definitely the less I care what people think. So, and I'm going to be in Palm Springs. They're very nice. They're a lovely crowd in Palm Springs. So it'll be fine.
I also think that, you know, with age, we realize who are we doing, why are we doing it, and who are we doing it for? And, you know, if I can imagine that this is not right my alley, I would not be able to do, I'm not a singer, I'm not into musical theater. But if I think about it, if I was going to do a project right now like that, even this podcast, as much I love talking to people, I want to find out what made you a successful person. I want to know that secret ingredients to what makes people passionate about things. I am doing it mostly for myself because of the way
Yeah,
it makes me feel.
exactly.
And I think, once you realize that that's very liberating, because you
It
don't
is
need to
liberating.
prove
Yeah.
anything to anyone. You're
No.
really doing it, and if anything comes out of it, great,
Yeah.
amazing. If I
Yeah.
can reach more people, that is my goal. I want to reach more people. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
I don't want to succeed in what I'm doing, but
hmm
but my motivation is, it's very internal.
Yeah. Well, I don't
So
think you or myself would have got to where we are without having drive and ambition. So, but you sort of let that go a little bit when you become a mum. So I think
I
it's great you're
guess.
doing what you are.
I guess. So listen, going back a little bit to where you are right now, you came to United States for season 3 of Dancing with the Stars. Why did you come here then? Was it just for the job? And now you are back where you started. You guys moved
I
back to
know.
Australia. Why did you move
Yeah.
back?
It was when the kids were starting school. We were figuring out, we were actually living in Canada.
Right.
We moved there 3 years ago just to try that out. It's very difficult. Robert's Canadian, I'm Australian, but we met in LA. So
Yeah.
we were just trying to figure out where we want to base ourselves. The kids were born in LA, and we thought that would be our home. But then we thought, let's give Canada a go. And I loved it. I love Canada. It's great. But I felt very far away from my family. My parents are older and everything. So that was like a big deciding factor in moving back. My mum's turning 84 this November. So we wanted to be closer to her. We wanted the kids to have some formative years like in an Australian school, just to have that culture. It is a great place to grow up. I think the end goal is we will move back to California because we love it there, and it's so central to everything. Because at the moment we are traveling back and forth a lot for
It must
things.
be hard,
Robert,
yeah.
yeah, so it does make it hard, but for right now we're really enjoying it. We're loving the lifestyle here. The kids are just doing so great in school. So I don't know, we just love it. I mean, as soon as I turned 18, I wanted
You
to
left.
leave. Australia felt very small, but then I did come back. I had many jobs. I used to work in a hotel on front desk. I did a bit of room service. I did the whole thing. Then I had another job. Like I didn't just get onto Dance with Stars when I was 18. Like I've worked my butt off. And then, yeah, Dance with Stars came about. The American version came about because I'd already done 3 seasons of the show in Australia.
Correct,
Because
yes.
I think it started in the UK, then Australia got it, then America. And one of the producers from Australia, when he won the green card lottery, and he went to America to work on the American one, and I think he was showing some footage of the Australian one. And back then, I think they only had Charlotta. Is it Charlotta?
Yeah, the only
The blonde.
blonde,
She was the
the
only
blonde,
blonde.
and yeah,
Well,
lady, Charlotta.
you kind of yeah. So
No,
they
I
did
still had dark hair. I
Yeah,
was
that's
the
right.
black hair, Eastern
Yeah,
European kind of Russian
it was a lot of Eastern
dancer.
Europeans, and then they
hmm
had who else?
There was
Anna.
Ashley DeGrosso and
Ashley,
Anna,
she was
but
still all American, and then so they were looking for sort of like blonde all American
mhm.
dancer, I guess. And so I guess I was. I mean, I'm not American at all, but that they said, "Oh, come over and audition." So I remember flying over.
So was it just like
I
another opportunity for you? It wasn't something that you
No, I just
really
thought, wow,
wanted
like,
to
well, America's always like America. It's like if you make it in the States,
bigger.
it's huge.
Yeah,
And yeah, and I thought this will be
like a
great.
next
I've never
step.
worked. Yeah, I was like, I've never worked in America. I've lived in London for a while. I think Australians like to get out there and explore anyway. And so, yeah, I went over and I just did an interview. I didn't have to dance or anything. I think they just wanted to see me talk and hear how I would choreograph something. So I remember meeting the producers and doing an interview with them. And I flew back home to Australia, and then I got a call saying, we want you in a couple of weeks. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. And
It happens really fast.
yeah,
It
it
happens
happened so
really fast.
quickly.
And
Yeah,
you
and
know
they
what?
got me
It's
a
funny.
visa and that was it.
It's really funny because when we came in for audition, we also didn't dance with Alec. And it's
Wow.
so funny that probably
They'd seen
none
you
of the
probably
dancers,
dancing somewhere on a video or something. Yeah.
exactly. You don't need to audition your dancing. It's not your dancing skill that gets you on the show.
Although
It's your
I had to dance for
personality.
Australia. I had to dance for the Australian audition. They made us
Ah,
go in and dance first and then talk. Yeah.
well,
The
maybe the
Americans
show
have
wasn't established yet.
the Americans have
Um,
got it down. They're like, we've seen you dance. Just
yeah, we've
talk.
seen you dance. You're fine. You're fine. We
Yeah.
just need to see your personality. Um,
Yeah.
so, do you think Australia is a better place to grow up than? I'm not saying that America. America is so
No,
versatile, but then Los Angeles, let's say.
no, not at all. I mean, we loved living in Los Angeles in California. We really did. Um, and I've got a lot of friends there. I had a great mum group. Our kids were born there. We lived there
Yeah.
until they were 2. We went through COVID there, and we loved it. And I've got some friends that love going to school there, and I think it's a great place as well. But for me, I don't know. I loved growing up here in Australia, and I think I just wanted the kids to experience a bit of
To
that,
have the same thing.
being Australian, of my culture. We go back to Canada every summer up to this lake place in Muskoka, so they get to have a bit of Canadian roots as well. And then they're American, so we go back to LA, New York a lot. My son loves New York. He's obsessed with Central Park, and he always wants to go to New York. So he'll probably end up moving to New York. I don't know. So the funny
That
thing
is
is that
so
back in
funny
Australia,
at this early age. Nice.
yeah, but they'll both end up living in America for sure. So that's why I think we'll end up back there. But just we want them to have a little culture here, and we'll probably move back for sure because I
Do
miss
you?
it.
Mhm. And it's amazing to be closer to your family. I think
Yeah,
at certain point in life you realize what's really important. And
yeah,
actually, for me, one of the hardest thing right now to kind of deal with is the fact that my family, my whole entire family, lives
yeah,
back in Poland, and we get to see each other
yeah,
only once or twice a year. And
yeah,
it's really tough because
yeah.
you know that you won't be able to get back that time.
Yes,
Mm, and you know that nothing lasts forever, unfortunately, and
yeah.
our parents are
It
getting
is.
older.
Yeah,
So
it is tricky. I lost my dad this year, and it was a real like just wow. Like when you lose a parent, it's like full on. Like it's very, very difficult, and it just puts things into perspective. So that was really tough, but I'm so happy that we got to spend time here. He got to go to grandparents' day at school. He got to spend so much time with the kids.
the kids.
Um, so that was he. I mean, he would travel over to America. And we've got so many great photos of him in Newport Beach in California with the kids, and he's traveled with us as well, but he was getting to the stage where he didn't want to travel anymore. And
Understandably.
yeah, so I think we made the right decision, because family is what it's all about.
At the end
So
of the day, absolutely. At
yeah,
the end of the day is the people and the relationships that you have. And everyone
exactly.
tells you that, but I think only when you really something terrible happens or you lose a
Yeah,
loved one, that's when you
yeah,
really know what it means. And it's
yeah.
so sad that we need to go through it to really
I know.
understand it.
Yeah,
It's just so
it really is.
so sad. Listen, would
But
you
yeah,
like your kids to follow your footsteps, to be in entertainment?
you know what? Honestly, I want them to be happy and enjoy what they do. I think for me, my gosh, I'm so happy I got to do what I love for a living. I think that's the key to being happy and successful. If you can find a job that's your passion, um, you're winning. So I just hope that they can enjoy what they do. Of course, I want them to go to university. I never did. I want them to do that regardless of if they go into the entertainment industry, because I think it's great to have. I wish I had that behind me, but I didn't. Robert did, but he dropped out of university. He got a degree in English literature. He's a great writer, but that's not what he does for a job, you know. But it's great. He went to university. He may have not stuck it out, but he did. So I hope the kids do that. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? I just want them to be happy. And we're trying to like show them so many different things that they can do. And they're learning piano, doing soccer, all these different things. And I just want them to love what they do.
Yeah, you know what? You literally answered my next question, which was, you know, what is a measure of success for you? And I guess we are very close to that. I think to be able to do what you love in life, and you know, obviously earn a living doing it. It's important too. We can't forget that. And you know,
but I mean, you do have to put in the hard work. I mean, I hated work. I remember Mum said to me when I was dancing, I didn't go to university. She's like, you need to get some degree or something. So she sent me off to hospitality college. And I remember going there, and then we had to do work experience. I think I was like 18 or something before I moved to London.
That's when you did the hosting, the hotel job?
But yeah, and then I had to go for work experience. So I went to the Airport International Motel in Sydney on front desk. And at the end of my week of this training, they said, we want to offer you a job. And I said, I've got to finish my course. My mum will kill me if I don't get a diploma or like a certificate. So they called and said, we want to give her a job and we'll train her in the other areas. Could she still get a certificate or whatever? And they said yes. So I ended up getting a job, but they made me do a couple of days in housekeeping. I was in the restaurant like as a waitress.
It's not that fun, huh?
No, they put me in room service, Edyta. I'll never forget this. I'm in room service and I had to carry this tray. It had two like pieces of like barramundi, 2 plates of barramundi with this like sauce thing on it, these waters and all this. It was so heavy, and it was right at the end of the hallway, and I'm walking and my hands were shaking. I get there, I tap my foot, I'm like, room service. They open the door, I walk in, and I must have tilted my hands like ever so slightly. The barramundi went flying off the tray onto the floor. I'm like, oh my God. I'm on the floor picking up fish. Oh, it was like so hard. And so, yeah, that was not my thing. I love the front desk and doing like conference and banquet and stuff. But, you know, I think, and I was really good at that. Jerry Springer gave me some great advice when I was dancing with him. I don't know how we got onto the topic, but he said to me, you know what? Be great at whatever you're doing and you'll get noticed. And I think that's the case in anything, like whatever your job is, if you're really good at it, you will get noticed, and then you'll get something else that you may be wanting, that promotion or this or that. So it's very simple advice, but I was like, that's right. And I tried to be great at Dancing with the Stars and choreographing and working great with whoever I was with. And then I kept getting asked back each season. So there's something to that, you know what I mean? So I think, I remember, I'm not going to mention any names, but some of the when like a young person was coming in many, many years later for their first season, they asked me advice and they're like, okay, so, you know, what publicist should I get? What, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, let's like slow down.
Let's start from the basics.
Yeah, like let's
do a great job. You will be fine.
And then you will get that, like all of that will come. But like your job is to teach the celebrity how to dance. Go into it just thinking that, and other things will happen, you know. But I get it. Like it's easy for people to want to come in and they want the other stuff first, you know what I mean? But yeah. So I think.
Well, you touched upon a couple of things here. Like one of the things is that, you know, success doesn't come overnight, and, you know, people see us on Dancing with the Stars, but, you know, we worked our asses off before that. We were competing, we were having second jobs, you know, you did your
dresses. Did you do
right? Oh, of course, running some dresses. I decided I want to be a dancer after, you know, I had a bunch of jobs as well to support my dancing, to pay for my dancing. but I knew that I cannot have a regular job in any capacity. One day when I was a waitress, and I did it only for a couple of days. I was a waitress in a restaurant. It was a summer job. And in rush hours, when they were really busy, I swear to God, up to date, this was the hardest job I've ever had, physically and mentally. I had to remember the orders, run around. It was physically draining. I had to be nice. I had to put a smile on my face to communicate to people. And in nothing. I would do 10 seasons of Dancing with the Stars back to back with no breaks. Other than being back and doing that. So I really respect people that do these jobs.
Oh my God, me too. What about clearing? I often like help clear the table. Like I'm like stack plates up,
right?
So they don't have to be grabbing, because I know how hard it is. Like trying to
incredibly
like
hard.
carry all the plates. And Robert was a waiter, and he was excellent as a waiter. He used to get loads of tips. He was so good as a waiter. Like right now, if we're having dinner, he's like, "I'll clear up." And he shows off, and he like stacks up all
puts
the
tables. Nice.
It's so funny.
It's incredible.
He was a great waiter. I wasn't.
But it taught me that I do need to do what I love. Whether you know, I took big risks because I knew that otherwise I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life. So listen, I don't want to take big.
Yeah, because you're paying. It's like paying for what you love to do, which you know you're going to end up being successful at.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully. I think to a certain degree you do have to believe in it. And I think to a certain degree you create your own reality, and it might not be exactly the way you envision it, but if you do believe that you're gonna succeed, you will succeed. The longer I am on this earth, I strongly believe that the state of mind is very powerful.
It's so powerful. I didn't know I was doing it, but I remember before I got on Dance with Stars in America, I could visualize myself on that floor in America doing it. Like I just knew it was going to happen. I know that sounds a bit arrogant, but I would go to bed and I could just see it happening. Like I just knew that was something that I would do. Like it does sound a bit arrogant, but it's I think putting yourself in the position and seeing yourself doing it, you know what I mean? And
I think only
the power of the mind.
Yeah, I think only when you actually see it in your mind, that's when you can accomplish it. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. And you hear it from so many incredibly powerful, successful people, from Steve Jobs, who envisioned, a little tiny computer that everyone's gonna hold in their pocket and carry it around. He talked about it in 90s, way before iPhone was invented. To Elon Musk, who was talking about, sending rockets and reusable rockets. Incredible stuff. So a couple of last questions. What advice would you give to young people who are trying to succeed, particularly in entertainment, but in anything in life, other than Jerry Springer advice, try to be, really good at
I think, especially in the entertainment industry, take classes, learn, be prepared. I think that's the key in anything, whether you're going for a job interview, do your research about the company. And I know that myself with Dancing with the Stars, I always felt so great when I was prepared before I would go in with my choreography, things like that. I need to be prepared. So whether it's like leading up to Dance with Stars, I'm like trying to do extra stretching classes or different dance classes, working with someone else that does different adagio or lifts, like learning new tricks. I think always keep growing and learning. So when an opportunity comes up, you're prepared for it. Keep taking singing lessons, keep taking your acting lessons, because an opportunity will come up, and that's all you need. That's his line. All you need in life is an opportunity, but I'm going to follow it up with, you need to be prepared for that opportunity. So regardless, if it's in business, if it's whatever it is, do your research, do your preparation, and always keep growing and learning. And like you said, you have to believe in it, and that's difficult because you can get yourself down and doubt yourself, and you've got this inner voice going, no, like it's blah, 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 not going to happen. But you have to have that self-belief and just keep working at it, because something's going to happen. An opportunity will come knocking for sure.
Right. Yeah, I think at this formative years when people start developing these skills, I think it's exactly that. It's you need to develop your skills. You need to develop your talent stack. You need to be versatile. You need to create value, and then something's going to happen with it. And then obviously later in life,
if you're not
changes.
confident and prepared, if you're not, say it's going up for something in a musical theatre role, if you're not taking singing lessons every day or practicing your vocals every day, you're going to get in that room and choke when you have to sing. It's like being prepared with dancing, taking ballet classes, making sure you're fit, your body's in the right condition for it. I think you have to be prepared and get your craft right. Focus on that.
So listen, other than your one-woman show, which I'm very much looking forward to, and I wish you the best luck with it, and I strongly believe that it is going to be amazing, because I know that you are amazing and you're going to put your heart into it, and I know that you are going to be ready for it. Other than that, is there anything else that you would like to mention or promote?
I'm doing something here. It's like on the 24th of November, anyone in Australia that's around, I'm doing something called Club Broadway. It's so up my alley. It's basically for musical theatre nerds, and it's during the day. It's like, I think from 2:00 until 6. It's basically a nightclub, but just all they play is musical theatre songs. So
nice. Is there going to be people performing these songs, or
I'm going to be performing?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So they asked me if I'd do a number, and I thought, you know what? I haven't performed in so long. And it's like there's going to be, I think, like 1,100, 1,200 people there. I've been to one just as going to watch my friend perform, and it's so much fun. So that's the next thing I've got coming up. So I'm rehearsing for that right now.
And that's going to be in Sydney, or
it's in Sydney? Yeah, it's going to be in Sydney. So I'll put it on my Instagram.
So what is your Instagram, so everyone can find you? I think it's just Kym Johnson.
It's Kym. It's actually, I know it's so confusing because I go by Kym Johnson. It's Kym Herjavec 5678. I know it's
like 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go.
I know. I need to simplify it. So, but yeah, it's Kym Herjavec 5678, and then I've got something very exciting coming up at Christmas, which I can't really talk about right now, but I am so excited about this thing I have coming up just before Christmas. It's a Christmas thing. So
all right, so you guys just have to stay tuned and tune into Kym's Instagram account and her social media to check out what are the dates and what are the details. But Kym, it was absolutely amazing to talk to you, to catch up, to see you happy, to see you thrive. It makes me so happy. And I truly believe that you are living your dream. I think you are one of the luckiest person on earth. I consider myself one of the luckiest people on earth. And I could not be happier to have my friend who I shared so many years on Dancing with the Stars to be in such a good place in life.
Oh, thank you. I know it's so special, like the friendship we have. And that's the thing, we may not see each other for so long, but it's just, we share so much together. It's so nice. Yeah.
All right, Kym, well, thank you so much. Again, the incredible and the most lovely Kym Johnson.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Danceology podcast. Please be sure to rate and review this episode. If you have questions or comments, you can email us at danceologypodcast@gmail.com. We are also on Instagram and Facebook at Danceology Podcast and available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening.
Metacortex Publishing hopes that you've enjoyed this presentation.
Please take a moment to listen to some other podcast offerings from Metacortex Publishing.
A quest is a search for something. And every week, the Quest podcast will show you how we know what we know through interviews with people that have incredible stories of dedication and perseverance. I'm your host, Todd Fisher. Join me in this thought-provoking and inspiring podcast of discovery. Find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Every year, tennis players from around the world compete for excellence, triumphing against all odds to emerge the champions. I'm your host, Maddie Harrison. Join me as I get up close and personal with these dynamic individuals and find out what it takes to go for greatness. Let's go beyond the match.
Hi, I'm Father Daniel Duplantis, a Catholic priest, martial artist, and host of the Karate Priest podcast. Have you ever wondered what the church teaches about different topics? Are you a martial arts enthusiast or just someone who wants to learn more about martial arts? I'd like to invite you to join me and many guests on my podcast as we cover topics of faith, everyday living, and martial arts on the Karate Priest podcast.
The No Earthly Explanation podcast investigates the things that are unexplainable, hosted by world-renowned investigative researcher Donald R. Schmidt and scientist Ellie Ringo. Follow them as they look for evidence for things that have no earthly explanation. Available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Cult Following is a podcast that studies the personalities and common traits of cult leaders and their followers. Get the real story behind these infamous and oftentimes tragic cults from a new perspective, through exhaustive research, and from interviews with people that were there. Available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please be sure to rate and review this episode. This podcast is produced by Todd Fisher and Anthony Smith and is distributed by Metacortex Publishing. This podcast is copyright. Any previously trademarked or copyright content is used by permission. Information and opinions stated in this podcast should not be construed as medical advice. Please be sure to visit the official website for Metacortex Publishing at metacortexpublishing.com or find us on social media for other unique content.